and then on the road. So, I think the biggest job here is to get guys' mind right, focused in, that we still have a lot left to play for with these 2 games left. Pointed out that 3 biggest wins on the year have been St. John's, Tennessee on the road, and Illinois. The other 2, we followed those both up with losses to good teams. Obviously Purdue and Gonzaga were very good teams, top 10. I'm not sure where they're both right now, but they've been top 10 most of the year. Georgia's also a very good team. So we failed those 2 tests, coming off really good wins. Now we're coming off another really good win and have another test. And Georgia shoots already at 20 wins. I think it's 6th time in program history they've done it during the regular season. They still got 2 games to go. I think Mike's done a really good job over there. Their talent levels, high. They've done a really good job recruiting. They, both sides of the ball, they play fast. Their athleticism shows. They're pressing, turning people over. 2nd highest turnover rate in SEC. They lead the country in blocks per game. So they turn you over, they block shots around. They got great athletes, and they try to play fast. So our transition D's gonna be tested. Means you gotta be super locked in mentally. You can't come into this game still high off the Tennessee game and have any chance to win. So that's been the messaging to the guys, and we've got to go to Georgia and be a really good team on the road. And it's, you look at most analytics sites, this game's supposed to be a 1-possession game. So every possession's going to matter, and we got to be better than we've been after the last 2 big wins of the year.
Okay.
I know you still have 2 games left, but how proud are you of this team for securing a double bye in the SEC tournament after being at that breaking point of 4-4?
Yeah, I'm really proud of it. The month of February went well. We haven't lost since January, so it's a long time to go in the SEC. It's a very good league. It's 2 games a week. We didn't buy in February. We've done a good job managing the injuries. The players have done a really good job stepping up as needed, just figuring out ways to win. They haven't all been pretty, but at the end of the day, they've gotten a win. So, we'd like to end up with the highest seed possible. The seed we get now is a 2 seed. So, we'd like to end up with that 2 seed, and we're in full control over the 2 seed. We went out, we're guaranteed 2 seed. So that's the goal. It makes it, best way to go on a run in the SEC tournament. It's also the best way to get you seeding up for the NCAA tournament.
You mentioned it in your opening, just coming off an emotional win like Tennessee, but then also with a home finale against Auburn on Saturday. Does this kind of feel like a trap game, and how do you kind of mentally combat against that?
Yeah, I haven't even thought about the Auburn game, to be honest with you. Hopefully our players haven't either. We get a quick turnaround with Georgia. You get the off day and Wednesday. When you play on Wednesday, your off day Sunday. When you play Tuesday, you got to take the off day Wednesday. So we're not going to worry about Auburn until after we're done with Georgia. But yes, for an immature team, it definitely could be a trap game. And I hope we're showing some maturity. I think the win on the road at Tennessee, showed some maturity. I think some of these other wins in February have shown we've grown a little bit in the maturity phase. But yeah, an immature team would come off a road win at Tennessee, look forward to your big rival game, and skip the Georgia game, and that would be a huge mistake because Georgia's a very good team, and it's really, if you're not fully locked into what you have to do to beat them.
How different does it feel kind of being on a win streak going into March this year compared to the slide that y'all had the last couple of years?
Yeah, obviously different. Could change here quickly. We got to take care of business this week. And those other ones, you're trying to figure out how to motivate them. You guys still got a chance. Now we're trying to figure out how to motivate guys to remember that, February's a long month and great job. Florida wasn't very long ago. And Arizona happened. So we've got to me, still got a big chip on our shoulder. Like, still haven't, I don't know, over our polls today, and 16, so 16, yeah. So those other years, maybe we had lost a couple at the end, but I think we've been ranked in the top 10, top 5 most of the year. So this year we haven't, we fell out of the rankings this year. So we've still got plenty of should be motivation, chip on the shoulder, edge to play with. I hope if we're a mature group.
Chase.
Can you just update us on the 3 guys that have been out, Collins and Hannah and Bristow, and what you've seen from them?
I don't think any of them will play the rest of this year based on how it's gone so far. I think Collins is not even cleared to do anything outside of free throws and some basic layup. I mean, he can't go through a full skill workout. When you're dealing with the heart, obviously, take all that very seriously, so they're not clearing him until everything's 100% clear. So the other 2 have worked their way back into where they can practice with us. I just don't think with all the reps that they've had to miss, that it makes a lot of sense to insert them back at this point.
How was LeBaron health-wise after Tennessee?
I think he's a lot better than he was after LSU. He looked like he had a lot more pop. So, sitting him out against Mississippi State made sense. It worked to get his pop back. I thought he looked good. We didn't practice yesterday, we practiced today. But, he's not 100%. I don't know with what he's dealing with. I don't know if he will be the rest of the year. It's more managing it. And we got to be smart. I mean, we got a quick turnaround, so we didn't do very much in practice today. We kind of put the game plan in. Got in what we had to, guard the scout team, and he's if he had to play a game today, he'd play it. Maybe he win one trade. Hopefully, he looks a lot better tomorrow. Then I think having a bigger rest time between Tuesday and Saturday rather than Wednesday will help a lot. Off Wednesday, we're not going to practice super hard the rest of the year. So we just got to get these guys that are playing in the rotation as healthy as we can get them going game to game now.
Coach, defense has crept back into the top 60 in Ken Palm's defensive efficiency. You're 59 now. And outside of the defensive rebounding, how have you seen your defense kind of progress over the last couple of weeks in this win streak? And where do you want to see them continue to take steps with one more week left for the year?
Somebody pointed it out to me. We quit using Ken Palm because they don't take into account the fact that you have guys sitting out all the time. So we go to, I think Hazelmetrics has his 38th. I don't know if they take that into account though. We're going to the ones that, but no. To answer your question, our defense is getting better. It's been good enough to win these games in February. It's still not where we need it to go. It's significantly better than it was 2 years ago going in the Final Four run. But, it's going to have to be one of those deals where we know it hasn't been where we wanted it to be for the whole season. But kind of like when we went in the Final Four run, let's forget some of this. Let's lock in. Let's be the best defensive team we can. Let's try to have a top 20 defense right now, which we did in that Final Four run. You go look at the numbers. Those 4 wins to get to the Final Four. We had one of the better defenses in the country. So, we need to get it there. I do think, we've shown, particularly in the backcourt, a lot more fight. I think, Reitzel's been pretty good since he's got healthy, playing his best basketball of his career. But that, to me, started on the defense. And before he went on this offensive run, he's been one of the best players in the SEC here lately. Before he went on this big offensive run, he already had his defense locked in. Holloway, starting with that LSU game, has looked really good on defense. Thought Philon's effort was better last game as he's gotten a little healthier. So our defense is getting better. It is moving up, whatever analytics sites you want to go to. And it's got to continue to improve pretty drastically if we're going to want to make the run we're trying to make here in March.
Last one. Yeah, just 2 road losses. You've never had a season here under 3. Just what do you make of this year's team having that accomplishment?
Make up for our home losses and shoot. lost 3 at home, so if you give away home games, you better go win them on the road. I didn't know that, so what was it, we've never had less than 3?
Yeah, you've had three times.
Oh, so if we get this one, it'll be
If
the
you get
best.
this one,
It's big enough, I didn't realize. Yeah, that'd be huge, show a little fight, like, you know, we had some tough road games too, shoot, Auburn's never easy. Winning at Tennessee's not easy, so St. John's not easy. I guess technically you can't count Illinois though, that's
Two
too.
road games.
Yeah, it's, St. John's counts for true because they play half their games at the Yard. Yeah, but Chicago's not Champaign. So, that'd be impressive, you know, kind of go looking at some of the games we schedule on the road, so, yeah, let's try to get this one, I'll let you write the article, but
Thanks, Coach.